Good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Well, does the road to the Buckland Cup go through the North this year? It just might. Last weekend, the top teams in the division made a statement with some huge wins over the rest of the league. Details coming up in just a moment. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. On the show today, the World Junior A Challenge kicks off soon in Nova Scotia. Now, OJ players, of course, will be front and center on the Team Canada East squad, and we'll have highlights from their training camp as well as the exhibition game they had against the OJHL All-Stars. Also, OJ Director of Business Development and Events, Rick Morocco, will join me via Skype for a chat to catch up. That's later on. But first, OJ highlights, and no question about it, the North Division made a statement last weekend. The top three teams, Markham, Aurora, and Newmarket, went toe-to-toe with the OJ's other front-running squads. The Canes and the Blades kicked things off on Thursday. OJ Highlights now brought to you by Cool Sports, official apparel provider to the OJHL. Oakville leading the South, taking on North leaders Newmarket, and this game opened a few eyes for sure. The high point for the Blades came 2:44 in. Peyton Reeves passed Fraser Kirk. 1-zip Oakville, all Canes from that point on. Newmarket power play, Eric Aramita tips it home. All knotted up at 1 apiece. The Blades just looked out of it on this night. Giveaway, Ryan Hunt pounces. Canes go up 2-1. Second period was an absolute slaughter. There's really no other way to put it. Viewer discretion advised if you're a Blades fan. Jackson Savory beating Chris Elliott with a bit of a softie. 3-1 Canes, and then it's Aramita with a gorgeous tip out front there. His second of the game, 4-1 Newmarket, and then Alex Ierrulo with two identical plays shorthanded. First he torches Matthew Kellenberger, 5-1, then 35 seconds later, the same thing.
Plays it back. They were looking for that one. Here's an opportunity once again. Can he do it again? He does! Oh, come on! Get out of town!
Get out of town! Anthony Reagan with the call there, and then right off the draw, the Grecian assassin, Dimitri Miklogiannikis, puts it past new keeper Christian Purbu. When was the last time you saw Oakville get blown out 8-1? As the Canes definitely opened a few eyes with that win. More devastation at the hands of the North Division here. Kingston, Aurora. This thing was over in the first. Joseph Mitzi trailing the play deposits. Tigers with the early 1-0 advantage. Then Kevin Dean with the call.
Benetti now dumps it back on out of Ferrari to Benetti. Skates up center. Looking to weave his way. Got busy with him. Benetti now's got it busy. Scores! Oh, baby, was that any good? Put that one on the OJ Today, Alex.
How could we not, Kevin? Great call. 2-zip. Kingston, just a mess in its own end in this game. Tigers swarming. Brock Welsh makes it 3-zip Aurora. Then another top 5
Penalty
nominee.
kill. 14 in the league, just over 83%. There's a score! What a rocket!
Anthony Romano with the bullet. 4-0 Aurora. That was all in the first. Second now. Kingston does break the goose egg. Dorian Overland completely ignored out front. V's cut the deficit to 3. Third period though, Mitzi still looking for that hat trick. He's a team player all the way though. Unselfishly dishing for Jake Bricknell. Total domination by the Tigers on this night. 5-1 final over a very good Kingston squad as the Tigers hold strong. 6 points out of first place in the North. The North wasn't done flexing its muscles. Markham, Georgetown, late in the opening period, Lucas Kandata going hard to the net. Royals out to the 1-0 advantage, and then just 18 seconds later, newly acquired Raiders keeper Nathan Torchia can't do anything about this one. Braden Aubin knocks it home. Markham 2-0 up at the break. Second frame, the ice was still wet. Aubin nabs his second of the contest. Royals cruising up 3-zip, and then Captain Condada, number 2 in the game for him. Power play marker, that makes it 4-0 Markham. Third period, Aubin gets the Hattie, and it's a sweet one. Bane Cunningham to Aubin, roof daddy, and Aubin 3 goals on the day. He was huge. G-Town does get one back. Newly acquired Bailey Malala, he puts home his second chance. 5-1 Royals. That's how it finished up. Keeper Cole Brady understandably happy about the way his boys played on the night.
It's great. You know, the boys played extremely well. Like, Georgetown's an unbelievable team, and, you know, you get out for those big teams, right? All the boys came out firing, gave out to a great start, and they kept the shots outside for me. It was a great win. Okay, one more before the break. North York visiting Orangeville. Flyers drawing first blood. Brandon Fisher banging home the rebound. 1-0. Rangers claw back, though. Graydon Gottschalk, sweet little wraparound there. And it's 1-1 at the break. No scoring in the second. We jump to the third. Cole Tucker with one. Christian Husky might want back. Ouch. 2-1 Rangers. But the Flyers even it up. Hudson Lambert, the blast from the point, top shelf. That knots it at 2 apiece and sends this one to OT, where Noah Jordan, top 5 nominee here. Great solo effort. That's the winner. As the Rangers pull it out in OT, they win 3-2. OJ trivia this week. How many OJ players were just named to Team Canada East for the 2017 World Junior A Challenge? The first correct email to rmorocco at theojhl.ca wins an OJ prize pack. Welcome back to the OJ. Today, as promised, the OJHL's Director of Business Development and Events, Mr. Rick Morocco, joining me from the OJ office. Rick, welcome to the show, buddy. How are things going?
They're going great, Alex. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Can't complain. So many exciting things going on we're going to touch on today with the league. But let's start off with one that's sort of hot off the press. This has just happened last week, but exciting stuff. The Chargers, Mississauga, getting awarded as the host team for the CJHL Prospects game, which is really it's big stuff for them. Talk about what this means for the league and for the Chargers organization.
Well, I think it's great for our league. Anytime you get a national event like the CJHL Prospects game, it's great hockey. Number one, it's got the top players across the country. It's going to bring in a lot of scouts to the game. And it's going to show best on best competition. For our league, we're extremely proud of being able to host this event. We want to, do the best job we can. And I know with Mississauga, it's an opportunity to highlight that organization. And, they've been great with the event. They're behind it. And we're just starting to get into the nuts and bolts of putting the event together. And Lloyd Stockley, the owner of the team, he's been amazing to work with thus far.
And a chance for people to see, if they haven't seen it yet, that beautiful Port Credit Arena, of course, which is one of the best in the OJHL. There have been a couple of big events that have happened already we're going to catch up on. Kicked off at the beginning of the year with the Governor Showcase down in Buffalo again. Buffalo, the Junior Sabres do a fantastic job with them. And I know that Marty Savoy and yourself were really, really happy about the turnout. More scouts than ever this year, both from the NCAA and professional ranks as well.
Yeah, Alex, it seems to be going up every year. And I can't say enough about the Buffalo Junior Sabre organization and the Harbor Center staff. They're amazing to work with. We within the OJHL, we pride ourselves on trying to make an impact and an impression with the events that we're doing. And so make no mistake about it, we're really catering to the scouts, and they seem to be responding, especially this year more than ever. There's been a lot of positive feedback that have come from the scouting world, and we're going to continue to try to grow.
The World Junior A Challenge is kicking off soon in Truro, Nova Scotia. The first step towards identifying Team Canada East was the Eastern Canada Cup, which took place last month in Trenton. Trenton getting to host all these big events over the last year and a bit, but did they do a great job? But the ECC is essential. Talk about the Eastern Canada Cup and how you think it went.
Well, again, the Eastern Canada Cup, great event. It features 5 leagues, 10 all-star teams. Again, another best-on-best competition. And this event, 23 games. It's got a modified schedule of 2 20-minute periods. Teams are playing at a very high intensity. It's a great event for scouts to come and watch. Yep. Trenton was an amazing host, very supportive of the event. And as we did with the Governor's Showcase, the OJHL is really trying to make an impression on the scouting community. We had well over 150 scouts from all 30 NHL teams that attended the event. And the event was a tremendous success, and we're looking to host again next year.
And the next step to that, of course, was choosing the final roster for Team Canada East. There were players selected from the ECC. Last weekend, the training camp was held at MasterCard Center MasterCard Center for Hockey Excellence, let's call it, in Etobicoke, of course. And the camp was held there. And just talk about that, because you were there, you saw some of it going on. Of course, the OJHL Selects also playing them on a Monday night. So lots of players taking part both on the Team Canada East roster and on the OJHL Selects, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, like the Eastern Canada Cup is an early identifier. And what we try to do as an OJHL is we try to give as many players as much exposure as possible. We had 80 players at the ECC. And that translated into a lot of players being invited to the camp that we just had this past week. And it was a great exposure, great opportunity. So for us, it gives us an opportunity to get more players into, the top level national competition. And we've been doing this for a few years. So this structure seems to be working for us with what's transpired in the past couple of years with the program.
Absolutely, and some real high-end talent on that roster this year for Team Canada East, including Nick Campoli, for one, who, before we get to McBain, Nick Campoli, who was drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights last year, playing back with the Rangers this year. Jack McBain, playing for the Junior Canadians, who's been pegged as high as in the top 10 NHL draft pick in the first round this year. All eyes will be on McBain at the World Junior A Challenge. Talk about that and how he can boost his stock.
Well, I mean, there's no question there's always a lot of pressure on a player who is being looked at every single game. I mean, Jack played in this tournament last year. It was his, obviously, his first year at the event. But this year, there's a little bit higher expectations, especially with him coming off of such a great showing at the Iva Hlinka in the summer. So, what that does is it brings scouts out that are really carefully examining his play and his consistency on a game-by-game basis. What it also does, though, is it gives exposure to other players in our league, like Kellenberger and Snell and Romano and some of the other players that are up and coming in our league. And, I think that's nothing but good for our league. Anytime you have a potential first-rounder as a league, puts a lot of eyes on your league, and we're very proud to have that opportunity this year.
It's going to be so exciting to watch the World Junior A Challenge this year. And Rick, thank you so much for joining us, buddy, and we'll catch up with you later on in the year, okay?
Absolutely, Alex. My pleasure. Take care.
No problem, buddy. More OJ today. Coming up in just a second. Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, the Battle of Halton Region is one of the fiercest in all of Canadian Junior A hockey. And for decades now, Halton rivals Oakville and Georgetown have gone toe-to-toe. The encounters have been intense, full of skill, and at times just downright nasty. There's no love lost between these two teams. And on Saturday, South Division leading Oakville and West front runners Georgetown added another classic chapter to that rivalry. This is one of the crazier games in the OJ this year. Oakville hitting first. Tet Burles with the marker. Actually deflected off the stick of Jake Payette there. In it goes. One-zip blades. And before the end of the period, Zach Elson nearly takes out his own head coach, Greg Walters, taking a shot off the hip. He had a little laugh about it, though. Second frame, Elson makes it up to Coach Walters just as the Oakville penalty expires, scores, and it was knotted up at 1 apiece. Oakville finishes the period strong, though. Power play, Anthony Aguano sneaks it past Mario Cavalieri, 2-1 for the Blades, and then 2 minutes later they pad their lead. Funny little bounce here, and it will come right to Mac Graham out front, 3-1 Blades at the break. The Raiders come out like a house of fire in the third, though. Andrew Court to Austin Cho. Upstairs he goes, and the deficit is cut to 3-2, and then just over 2 minutes later, Justin Paul snapping an 8-game goalless streak with that one. Perfect timing. And that ties it up at 3. Then 39 seconds later, with the man advantage, Bailey Malala, just reacquired from Junior B, make it 2 goals in 2 games for him. Raiders, the first lead of the game, up 4-3. But with 3.5 minutes left, Peyton Reeves, the bomb from the point, tied it 4. This one actually ended up going to double OT. Take it away, Alan Corrigan.
Puck drops it off, but it's broken up by Oakville. And maybe a break for Maya. Maya with a game on his stick. Here comes Thomas Maya. He shoots. He scores! Thomas Maya with a game winner into the top corner.
And with just 5 seconds left in the second overtime, the Blades with the dramatic win over their bitter Halton region rivals Georgetown. Another Halton team, Burlington, headed to Stouffville last weekend. Spirit head first. Wesley Weir, one-timer, 1-0 Stouffville. The Cougars would tie it though, and then Jackson Camp just walks right in and beats David Bowen 2-1. Second stanza now, Josh LeBlanc. 1 times at home for the power play marker. Cougs go up 3-1. Cue the comeback though. Isaac Phillips, top of the circle, wires it past Justin Richer. Spirit trail by just 1, and then Ryan Smith goes hard to the net. Jackpot. All tied up at 3 apiece. And then a top 5 nominee, Connor May, picks the pocket of Curtis Anderson. Top shelf. Stouffville, what a comeback. They now lead 4-3. But in the third, Michael Miele at the side of the net pokes it home, and the seesaw battle continues. And then another play of the week nominee here, Noah Kalsner-Lowe on a rope with that shot. Beauty. The Cats retake the lead, and they would actually add an empty netter to make it a 6-4 final as Burlington climbs to within a couple of games of the 500 mark with the win over the Spirits. The Markham Royals are one of the hottest teams in the OJHL right now. Friday's emphatic 5-1 win over Georgetown definitely turned a few heads, and their performance Sunday against the Trenton Golden Hawks added to the shock value as Mike Galatti's troops destroyed the defending Dudley Hewitt Cup champs. It didn't start out badly for Trenton, though. On the contrary, they came out gunning. A $1.05 in. Mac Lewis puts it in from a bad angle. Hawks going up 1-0, and then 3 minutes later, Matt Nastasiuk there to knock home the rebound. Trenton looking good, up 2-0, and that's when the wheels fell off. First, Braden Aubin smashes the one-timer, bit of a knuckler, actually, and it was 2-1. Soon after, Nick Junta, backdoor sneaky, all tied up at 2 apiece, and then take it away, Reno Matucci.
And heck, I was fooled too.
And now here's Odeker, gets it on the defender, right in on goal, scores!
And Brett Odekerk, that was dirty. Late in the period, Jack Jeffers completely ignored out front. 4-2 for Markham. Still in the first, Braden Aubin to Alessio Luciani. Nice pass, and it goes, and the Royals would cruise the rest of the way. It ends up 9-4 Markham final, and they're looking like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch this year. Okay, as mentioned before, the CJHL Prospects game will be hosted by the Mississauga Chargers on Tuesday, January 23rd. It's an exciting event for the franchise as well as the OJHL. Here's Mississauga head coach Joe Washkarak to talk about the event.
Yeah, the Mississauga Chargers are extremely happy to be hosting the CJHL Prospects game. I think it's a real tribute to Lloyd and Carol Stockley, who've been the longest-serving owners of any franchise in the OJHL right now. And, you know, I know the city of Mississauga is excited, and we're excited, and I just think it's great for the franchise. And, you know, Park Credit Arena is an old historic arena, and it's maybe a little bit small ice surface, but it's definitely unique, and I expect the arena to be packed. And, you know, I know our organization, along with our fans and their players are looking forward to the game. So it should be a great event, and I'm hoping that we pack the place, which I'm sure that we will, and it should be a lot of fun.
That should be a great event. OJ standings, Newmarket tied with Markham at the top of the North. Aurora keeping pace, though, 6 points behind Pickering, Stouffville, and Lindsay behind them. East Division, Wellington, 16-point lead over Kingston, followed by Trenton, Cobourg, and Whitby trailing far behind right now with 16 points. To the south we move now. Oakville, 4-point lead over North York, followed closely by the Pats and the JRCs, then St. Mike's and Mississauga. And in the west, Georgetown on a bit of a slide right now. Buffalo still 9 points behind, though, and then it's Orangeville, followed closely by Burlington and Milton in 5th place with 4 points on the season. Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, the World Junior A Challenge kicks off December 10th. The top Junior A players from across the planet will descend upon Truro, Nova Scotia. Canada East, with a large contingent of OJHL players, of course, is expected to be one of the main challengers to the title this year. Last weekend, the training camp to choose the team took place in Etobicoke, and we were there with our cameras rolling. Sunday saw a morning inter-scrimmage game, Black versus Gold. First period, Gold already up 2-0. Black ringing it off the bar, and that theme would repeat itself throughout the game. Nick Campoli to Finn Evans, ping off the bar again. Move to the third period, Black trailing 2-1 now. Scary moment. We talked about the OJ's move to full cages this year. William LeBlanc from the Quebec League takes a shot off his face wearing the half visor. He had to go to the hospital for stitches. Luckily, it missed his eye. He would be okay, but that's never fun to see. Team Gold gets one back for its fallen comrade, Francis Thibault. Roof Daddy past Jet Alexander. Some breathing room for Gold, up 3-1 now. The Black squad refusing to lay down, though. Wellington's Colin Doyle will stay with it here. The wraparound, and they cut the deficit to 3-2. Soon after, Joey Maziarz just will float one in from the point here, and it somehow finds daylight, and they were all tied up at 3 apiece. Black with a chance to win it in the dying seconds here. Finn Evans victimized by the goalpost yet again. Overtime solved nothing. They were off to a shootout. First two shooters for each team missed. Jack McBain, though, scores to put Team Black up. So Team Gold would have to score to keep this thing going. But as he's done for so much of the year for North York, Alexander plays the hero, stoning Logan Johnson. It's a win for Team Black, but as guest coach Scott McCrory stressed after, this was all about assessing the players for the tough task of cutting down that roster.
Yeah, it's for these guys, it's day 2 of a 3-day camp before the team's picked. So far, we have 22 OJHL players in the camp, and out of the 40, and they're playing really well. It's going to be some tough decisions for the coaching staff. Okay, a few cuts were made in the next night. The OJHL 97 All-Stars faced Canada East, who would use that last game to make the final cuts, and the OJ All-Stars would provide a stiff test for the youngsters. It was their last chance to impress Hockey Canada brass. Skip ahead to the second. After a scoreless first, the OJ boys hit first. Markham's dynamic duo, Lucas Condata, Jack Jeffers, hooking up again. Jeffers makes it 1-0. 2 minutes later, though, Canada hits back. Nick Campoli just dribbles it past Nate McDonald. They were tied 1-1. Exhibition game didn't matter. The OJ boys were throwing the body around. Christian DeFelice flattening Cade Townend there. And then in the third period, Mac Lewis, making like a Mack truck, hammers Aiden Gerdakis. And then some anxious moments as Lewis takes out Jack McBain, falls awkwardly against the boards. McBain slow to get up. There were several coaches and scouts holding their breath, no doubt. Jack was okay, though. This went to OT. It was Campoli playing the hero for Canada East, beating Jet Alexander. A stiff test for the East boys, though, which is exactly what Hockey Canada brass was looking for from this game as they were making their final cuts.
It's a great game for our process. We've been doing this for a few years now, and every year. It's a very competitive game, and it's gives us a chance to see our guys in a real good competitive game before we head to the tournament. It's gone great. It's been a busy couple of days. A lot of talent here, 40 players from Eastern Canada, real good players. We started out with more than 1,500 players to evaluate, and we came down to 40, and now we're down to 25 here tonight, so it's been exciting.
You know, we have probably 30 to 35 different kids out there from our league in front of all these scouts and fans and whatnot. So it's what we try to do when we promote the kids, and they're putting on a great game so far. They're highly skilled, as you can see out there. They can skate and shoot. And I think these coaches are going to have some tough decisions to make here tonight.
The final cuts were made, and 14 OJ players are on Canada East. Jet Alexander, Noah Battaglia, Mason Snell, Joey Maslars, Matthew Kellenberger, and Jeff Clark from the Blades. And then forwards, Nick Campoli, Colton Kalizic, Anthony Romano, Jack McBain, Mac Lowry, Connor McEachern, Ben Evans, and Colin Doyle. Congrats to all the players that made the team. Head to hockeycanada.ca for all the World Junior A Challenge information. And 3 OJ commitments just to get caught up on. Lucas Condada, that was a couple weeks ago, committing to UMass Lowell. Daniel Panetta of the Wellington Dukes headed to Colgate, and Chris Juriday of the Tigers is going to be a Western Michigan Bronco in 2019-20. Congrats to all the players on your commitments. And the top 5 for this week brought to you by Chaos, the official hat provider to the OJHL. Number 5, North York's Noah Jordan, overtime with the sudden death winner against Orangeville on Saturday. Number 4, Burlington's Noah Kalsner-Lowe against Stouffville, absolutely wiring it top shelf for the Beauty. Number 3, Anthony Romano, recently named to Team Canada East, and he shows why. Sublime goal for the Tigers against Kingston on Friday. Number 2, the Blades and Raiders had a crazy game in Georgetown. Double overtime. Thomas Maya wins it for the Blades with just 5 seconds left. And number 1, Markham's Brett Odekirk untresses Trenton's Sean Geisen, and then the awesome finish. Take another look at this one, as there's the move and there's the sweet little finish, and that is our Chaos play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, to keep up to date with the OJHL, all your news, stats, standings, and stories, you can head to ojhl.ca. And of course, you've got all your social media options to check out there as well. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you next week.